Oh, what that dying, and go denyo. Oh, what that dying. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Shonamo, where we speak truth to power. Now, here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we would only do that on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunamo, and here we speak truth to power. From the newsreel, we endeavor to always keep it real. And today we have a number of issues to look at. Number one. Now, the very first story I am taking today is coming all the way from TVnews.com, and that is the most authentic source of news online, my brother. And it says Ghana will go to IMF again after this one because we are not serious as a country. And this is the former managing director of the Carl Bank. My God, I can't wait to get into it. Now, it says former managing director and shareholder of Carl Bank, Frank Edu Jr., has projected that Ghana will return to the International Monetary Fund for a bailout again after the current $3 billion program with the fund. He blamed this on the refusal of the leaders to patronize the national interest. In fact, to prioritize the national interest over their personal political ambitions in decision making. Now, speaking in an interview with TV3's Pakwesi Asare on the Business Focus on Monday, February 19, Mr. Frank Edu Jr. said, it doesn't matter what you do, to the extent that the election is a two-horse race and the people must win the elections at all costs, you will always damage your economy in the third to the fourth year of your administration. My brother, my sister, you do not go and do this domestic debt exchange program and you leave treasury bills which you are using to pay the DDEP coupons. The highest coupon on the city bond was about 18%, but you are using T-bills at 28 and 30%. At that point, for instance, you could have reset artificially, bringing the interest rate down. Then let the market take over again. Now, I am going to pretend that I do not understand that technical beat of 2%, 3%, 28%, 30%, and treasury bills and all that. Let me concentrate on the fact that we will be going back to the IMF because we are an unserious nation. I agree with this brother here. I don't know him. I have never met him. I don't know what he looks like, but I'm sure that he is a man, a human being. And again, I know that he has brains that work. My brother, my sister, we seem to be a country that is a tape on repeat. It looks like we are a robotic country. It looks like our leaders are all robots. It looks like our leaders are walking headless jacks with no brain. A lot of our leaders, my brother, my sister, are only interested in today. They don't think generationally. My brother, my sister, and this is hurting the nation. Do we plan ahead as a nation? Or we are just interested in winning elections and it doesn't matter what energy we put into winning elections. We just want to win elections and that is all. My brother, my sister, in Ghana, for an MP to grab the diadem of being a member of parliament, he spends at least $1 million American in bribery, corruption, and twisting of finger and thumbprints so that they would be able to come into power. Now, when they get into power, tell me, are they going to concentrate on paying off the money they used, the money they borrowed, the money they stole, wherever they got that money from, are they going to concentrate on paying the money first? Or they will go straight to take care of the constituents that brought them into power? Think about it, my brother. Now, which constituent would have confidence in a man who bribed him to vote for him? Think about it. Which voter would ever have confidence in a man who bribed him to vote for him? My brother, my sister, it's almost like when you get married to a prostitute, anytime you see a man walking around your house, you are panicking because that is her thing in trade. My brother, my sister, think about it very deeply. We do not plan ahead, and most importantly, we do not have our hearts beating for the nation. It hurts me that every now and then we are running to and fro, begging for money, when we have all the gold, we have all the diamond, we have the oil, such a blessed country. One day God will line all of us up, beginning with our leaders, and he will lash all of us for lack of common sense and patriotism. There is no reason Ghana should ever be poor. There is no reason Ghana should ever lack. It is a country of brilliant people. It is a country of people who have been endowed with brains. But because of selfishness and corruption, because of wickedness and foolishness, my brother, my sister, we continue to languish in poverty. We don't care how many people die so we can make our millions and billions. We do not care how much we deteriorate and degrade our nation, as long as it will inure to the benefit of our parochial pockets. My brother, and the sad thing about all this is, when the prophet rises to fight against some of these ills, the same people that you are fighting for, they are the people that are bribed again and bought to fight you down. It's like a man who climbs a very tall plant, a tree. He climbs it all the way to the top. And then he's cutting below that same tree, the head of the tree. He's cutting underneath. Of course, he's cutting himself down. And when you are trying to protect him, he is the same person who fights you. I don't know who actually created us, but I think we were created on the seventh day when God was resting, and Satan quickly sneaked into the factory of human production and he produced us. Satan sneaked into the factory of creation on the seventh day when God fell asleep and was resting and created us. We are such a people who have no respect for our nation. We are a people who have no regard for where we are going. We are a people who have no respect whatsoever for our heritage and our ancestry and ancestors. We have no respect for the blood that was poured in order to liberate us, let alone the sweat that our ancestors drenched themselves in order to bring us this far. It hurts me every time I have to explain to my children why things are happening like this. Even at their age, young as they are, they feel the pang of the economic tomfoolery and buffoonery. My brother, my sister, this man here who is speaking, Frank Edu Jr., is speaking nothing but the truth. And the same person here is saying some other thing, which I would like to share with you before I leave him alone. He says, I fear what the unemployed youth will do if we don't find them jobs. This is the same Frank Edu talking. The same Frank Edu, my brother, my sister, is talking. He's saying the unemployed youth in our country, every time he looks at them, in fact, he freezes. The rate of unemployment is so threatening. He wonders what the youth will do if we do not find them job. I read. He says former managing director and shareholder of Carl Bank, Frank Edu Jr., has said that he is worried over the possible effect of youth unemployment in the country. He says he fears what the unemployed youth will do if they are not given jobs to do. Asked whether he fears for this country after raising concerns about how the leaders govern, Mr. Frank Edu told 3FM's Parkwesi Asare on the Business Focus program on Monday, February 19, that I fear for the unemployed youth and what they can do to us if we do not find something for them to do with their lives. Oh gosh. My brother, listen to this. As human beings with brains, we should be thinking generationally. We must never sit aside and be forced to think. We are humans and we need to think without being forced to think. Now we are threatened by the youth, what they can do to us if we do not find them employment. Imagine the bulging muscles of the youth. Imagine the intellect of the youth who have graduated from various degrees from the universities. They come home and sit down. For an old man who is refusing to retire, ruled by an old president who was stopped thinking. The last time this president thought was 30 years ago. From that time, he threw away his brains into the sea. Today, my brother, my sister, these are the people who are ruling us. Your grandfather is still at his employment, taking money from the government. He has been 40 for the past 80 years. And you have just come out of the university. You are even older than your grandfather. You are 42. Your grandfather is 40. By the kind courtesy of the football age, Ghanaians continue to behave foolishly and stupidly. My brother, my sister, the creme de la creme of the Ghanaian society is not what is in employment. It is the old and aged, my brother, my sister, frail and sickly that continue to be in employment in the place where the youthful and strong should have been. How will this translate into good production? To the point that an MP, a sitting MP, a minister of state can say that the youth have no brains to rule themselves. They only have coconuts sitting on top of their necks. Such a buffoon. My brother, my sister, until we learn to respect the youth and take the issues of the youth to heart, my brother, my sister, we are going to be in a country that is going to have the youth slap us every single second when we are old. We are going to live in a country where the youth will bury us at early age. We will visit early graves. Trust me. Think about it, my youth.